I think we are higher. 24,372 is the pre-open, 24,330 is the open, and 60 points in the green. Nifty Bank is up about 1/3%. The Sensex is up about 1/4%. The mid-cap index is up 0.64, and I think the small-cap index is also higher to begin the day. So very, very good start after yesterday's super kind of reversal from last Friday. Essentially is what we had. So 24,400 plus now on the Nifty. 24,545 or so is that level which we put out at least for about 15 days now. 61.8% retracement of the entire fall that the market has seen. And we are about 130 points away from that level. Let's just quickly look at the heat map. Gives you a snapshot view of how things are starting. And then we'll get down to individual stocks because that is where a lot of the action is coming through. So it's mostly all up in the green. I think you got about 5 odd Nifty names which are starting in the red. And as we were sort of saying, Indices is very much in the green. Surabhi.
Yeah, Indices is starting positive. It's actually the Nifty winner, almost 2% higher. But actually, a couple of lenders are making big headlines. I was looking at beyond the Nifty, UCO and PNB in particular, both reacting to numbers. And for UCO, the business growth has been very, very strong. The deposits are up almost 5%, advances quarter on quarter, I'm talking about. Gross NPA levels have declined. For PNB, I think margins are at a multi-quarter high. So these two stocks are really hitting it out of the park this morning. Anyway, back to the Nifty gainers. Indices Bank is in leadership position. But beyond that, BEL, 1.5% higher. Tata Motors, Adani Enterprises. Then you have some big stocks like SBI and L&T, which are notching up gains of about 1%. Trent, ahead of its numbers, is up 1%. Titan, Eternal, so fair bit of consumer discretionary plays. Doing quite well this morning, actually. All about 1% higher. M&M, 1% higher. Maruti is up. So auto, we're seeing some buying in auto overall. Actually, hardly any weakness on the Nifty. There's a little bit of a cool-off in maybe Sun Pharma and maybe Grasim. But guess what? Not even a single Nifty stock is down more than 0.5%. It's a strong, strong morning. And look at the Nifty charging ahead. It's broken out of this consolidation band that I was talking about in the morning. Now we're trading above 24,400. So it's absolute leadership and dominance. And the mid-caps are doing even better, Nigel. The mid-cap index up 1%. So it's a flyer of a start.
Well, that's right. A couple of stocks reacting to large trades that have taken place. Sami Hotels, yesterday there was a large trade. I think this morning as well there was one. The stock has opened up with a gain of closure around 4%. Tata Tech, though, I think there was a large trade that was expected. I think that's got cleared out, and that explains why the stock is down closure around 5% in today's trading session. So let's get both those two up. Sami higher. We have Tata Tech that is lower in trade. You have Fino Payments. The FY25 revenue was in line with guidance. Throughput was up by close on 27%, but that stock has come in for some profit booking. You have RPG Life. That's the other stock that I'm looking at. Well, those numbers I think came in overnight. And I think they look quite good. So that's one of the stocks that's perked up in trade. Big gap up is what we're seeing on that particular name. A couple of stocks that did fall yesterday big time. Case in point being Tejas Networks. That's opened up mildly in the green. So let's pull that stock up. RPG Life now bursting away, up close to around 10% as we speak. We'll try to get the management on the show. Tejas Networks, I think it had opened up mildly in the green. And the other one was SML Isuzu. Both of them got clonked back in trade. But SML Isuzu as well, it's trying to find its feet. It opened up with a cut of around 5%. Yesterday it was down 10%. Now, in fact, it's holding with a cut, I think, of around 2% or thereabouts.
I just want to mention that PSU banks are charging ahead. So UCO, of course, on the numbers, but even the others, Central Bank of India, Punjab and Sindh Bank, then I saw IOB pop up as well. In general, PSU banks leading the charge this morning. That index is the best performer at the start.
And just one more stock from the tech pack. We had pointed out Coforge, Sabri, the global company. They have had a problem with their balance sheet. But they went ahead yesterday and they sold part of one of their businesses, and that will help them deleverage. They had signed a partnership with Coforge, and the street initially got excited. Then they were questioning whether or not it can get executed, but they're going to get their book in order. The read-through is maybe, in fact, that deal as well sees the light of day. Could explain one of the reasons why Coforge is doing a relative outperformance.
And Coforge, I think, is getting a little over 400 crores from this exit, if I remember the numbers. I'm not sure.
No. So the deal is with Sabri. Sabri is the one that's getting the money. That's the one that did a collaboration with Coforge for around $1.5 billion. So there was uncertainty whether or not the deal will actually see the light of day. Now with them deleveraging their balance sheet, that's the global company, Sabre, the possibility is that it gets a green signal. So that could be the reason why the stock is in the green.
Okay, results on the 5th of May, Coforge, and it's a name we've highlighted for some time now as potentially, a stock where there is a large disconnect between, or at least there was a disconnect at $6,000 from where it has recovered about 1,500 rupees between actual growth rates and what the market has beaten it down to. So very sharp gains. 100 plus points on the Nifty is what you have. So 24,430 on the index, and it's looking super good. You got about what, 7:1, 8:1 advances to decline ratio. It's still early, stocks are still opening up, etc. But for what it's worth, for now, it's all on one side, mostly everything on one side, which is on the way higher. Tejas Networks was down sharply yesterday. It's up about 2.5 right now. There is Paras Defense, which is up 4%. I'm not sure there's any news flow. And I was talking about auto ancillary companies, right? I mean, look at Sona Comstar, 4% gains. And these are all coming with solid gains. Bharat Forge is up 3%. Bharat Forge, I think, was also a call from Mitesh in the morning. And there is Motherson, which is up 2.5%. So Auto Angs as a pack is doing well this morning. I'm not sure. Is it with regards to this news flow, pause as far as these auto tariffs? 3rd of May is essentially when they're supposed to come into effect. RK Forgings is another one. RK Forgings was sharply down in the morning. Yesterday, it recovered quite a bit. That issue of inventory mismatch, promoter essentially saying that they are putting in money. And of course, there was a con call as well. We spoke with them. Stocks about 2.5% higher. Still not come up to the levels from where it fell the week before last. Last week, it was down about 12-13% or so. But otherwise, I mean, it's a pretty good-looking screen, I have to say. Surabhi?
Prashant, on auto, I don't know if this is what you were referring to. But there was a Reuters story that I was reading that seems to suggest that Trump and his administration is in very close talks with US automakers, and they've agreed to remove, I think, duties from specific parts, components which are needed.
So those tariffs are supposed to come into effect on the 3rd
of May, yeah.
And I mean, some deal may, I would say, the report said tonight we may actually see something which may
This is, Lutnick is on record to Reuters, a statement saying that there will be a deal and a lot of the components which are required, they will be exempt.
Absolutely. And we'll, of course, as and when that happens, we'll try and speak with Indian companies as well if there is any implication whatsoever. But for now, I think there is a bit of a bump which is coming through.